Hello there, UK here again, and we're going to continue with the tour around my very small garden in which I'm trying to grow some vegetables. We'll start here with the first raised bed, and I can't actually remember at the moment whether or not I already have done this, so please excuse me for my lack of memory skills and possibly boring you again. Anyway, so in this raised bed we have, as you can see, everything flourishing above ground. Whether or not most of it's going to bolt, go to seed, I don't know. Before I use it, it may. Hopefully it won't. So in this raised bed we have onions, which are not growing very much at all, and I think my error with this was that I moved them from a smaller raised bed, and it's either, well, I hoped it had just stunted the growth, but actually I just think it's diminished the growth altogether. They don't seem to be doing anything at all since they've been moved, so I know for next year plant them where they're going to stay and leave them alone. We have let's have a look. These are swede, and also in here we have some beetroot and a couple of tomato plants, but they're very heavily dwarfed right now by the vegetation, foliage surrounding them. Okay, and there's 3 troughs next to it with swede and baby carrots and turnips. And do you remember, I do remember something, you see, my memory's not that bad. Do you remember I showed you the sage that I'd rescued from the garden centre? But this is what it looks like today. So it's not doing terribly well. I don't know if it'll pick up, it doesn't look like it will, does it? Fortunately I have ordered some seeds, so hopefully I will be able to have sage growing in my garden one way or another, which will be great for Christmas. Okay, down the length of the garden, covered with this green netting, are strawberries. And I'm not sure if there is very much happening. I did see, oh yes, look, they're just starting to develop, and hopefully will go red and I will be able to eat them, or the kids will, before they get eaten by the ants. At the end there, in the long trough, are more swede or turnip, can't remember quite which. This row of buckets here are tomato plants that I've grown from seed. And in this raised bed here, this is number 2, I have some onions drying out. These are onions that my dad grew, and very successfully, I might add. So they're drying out because the space that they're lying on top of was actually supposed to have come up with lots more parsnip and carrot, and it failed to. So as you can see down the sides, we have parsnip growing quite successfully, but the middle of the bed, very little has happened so far. Okay, next door here we have some fruit trees which were bought very cheaply for about £1 each, and they're not doing much apart from the one on the end, which is another red currant, and that's doing quite well, which I'm very pleased about. A couple of shallow trays of carrots as well. Right, this raised bed is quite interesting to me because I thought I'd have a go at square foot planting. So I sectioned it off. It's a 2 metre by 1 metre bed, and I sectioned it off so that there are 18 square feet basically. And in it we have some beans right at the very end. I don't know if you can see them. just starting to come through, but they're also being eaten by slugs, so that's not good. I might have to plant a few more. In the middle section there are 6 tomato plants grown from seed and growing on quite well, which I'm very happy about. In this section here we have parsnips, leek, carrots. Along the edge of the bed here you can see some cabbage, which had already been planted in the bed before I decided to turn it into a square foot bed. So they've been nibbled quite a lot and they may be removed. I'm just holding on and seeing if they develop further. What's in this one? I can't remember. Oh yes, that's rainbow radish. So they're going to be all different colours, which adds a fun element to eating salad. Bolt hardy beetroot. Love beetroot. So that'll be great. And what's in this one? I can't seem to remember. Oh, spring onions. Oh yes, and we have a salad growing over there somewhere as well, in one of the square foot beds, and more leeks. Over there we have, I think that's the honeyberry, or it could be the goji berry bush. I'm not quite sure. They're new this year, and as is everything in fact. And no fruit on it at the moment, but wasn't really expecting any for its first year with me anyway. In the ground over here we have some pattypan squash, which are growing quite well compared to the cobnut squash, which are low ground growers and they're not doing very well at all, been munched heavily by slugs and snails. In that pot is the honeyberry, and as with the goji berry, no fruit, and that's perfectly fine. The first year with me I'm not expecting any. This is a blueberry, and what can I say? At least I'm going to have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 blueberries to eat this year. Yum. I might share them with the family, or then again I might just eat them while I'm still in the garden. Okay, the other side of the garden we have some parsley in a tub, oh yeah, these are flowers just germinating. What I thought I'd do is grow my own flowers to give Mum some flowers once they've grown, and to have some fresh cut flowers in the house for myself. And I think this is mint. It's been a really slow to germinate veg, which is a shame because I really like mint. I found a fantastic mint ice cream recipe with using homemade mint on the internet the other day, and I would love to try that recipe. And beetroots and oregano and more beets and more beets and Swiss chard. It needs a bigger pot really, but I can grow it on in another pot at a later stage. And what is this one? Is it Hestia? I can't quite remember. No, it's broad beans. And early onward peas, gherkin, which I can pickle if they grow, and Hestia. This is going to be spring onions. It looks like a bucket of mud at the moment. More peas, more French beans, growing in various pots, and more peas or beans, can't remember quite which. Okay, I'm going to start the next video with this section of homemade, rather naff, but seems to work, trellis that I've made for the vegetation to climb up. But this has to be less than 10 minutes as it won't upload to YouTube, so I'm stopping it now.